Today, I want us to pay attention to our pronunciation. How would you say this word? A-N-I-M-A-L. I'll give you a hint. It's not animal. And it's definitely not animal. It's animal. The second A is silent. Animal. Animal comes from the Latin word anima, which means breath. Strangely, the second A was not silent back then. It later evolved into animalis, which means having breath or having life. That's the origin of the word animate, which means to give life to a lifeless object or image. So for the love of God, please say it right. Say animal. Thank you for your cooperation.
You say either.
Right, that's how you say it right. But first, let me tell you about Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one supplier of quality office essentials, equipment, and furniture at affordable prices. They've introduced an online store for your shopping convenience. This means you cannot shop by simply logging on to kingdomstoreonline.com without physically coming to any of their branches. It is hassle-free, and they will arrange delivery to your home and office within a reasonable time, offering free delivery within Accra and Tema, and they accept payment via Momo across all networks. Terms and conditions however apply at Kingdom. Quality and affordability are their hallmarks. Let's get into the newspaper review brought to us by First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. But first, let's go for a wrap of Newsfile on Saturday.
And insofar as we cannot know in advance what are the content of this violence, that is what the inquiry is necessary. And I want to stress that some of the humble view on hindsight, if we are not careful and the police are investigating themselves, then there could be issues of bias and the issues that we should look good to the general public. And even the penal consequences of somebody's actions might not be as strong as it would have been if it were in the hands of other individuals. That is why the core this matter should have independent investigations is very, very good. And we have also the situation of a history in which some of these police killings are becoming too many.
We detest any situation where the police, rather than directly arresting people, will kill them even before they are investigated.
You know, it is not all the circumstances that they would have the opportunity to effect an arrest.
That's why
they say they were met with firepower.
That's why we are calling for investigation. In fact, it's time for the IGP, the police service, to mount policemen who are going on operations with cameras. So when they are operating, like happened elsewhere, in matters like this where shootout is likely to happen.
The landowners will always come and defend them. Now, as for the public, who betides you if you pointed at where langars are located? Because the public know that if the police arrest them, they will come back to the area. And who betides you? They will know who pointed them out, and they will come and finish you. The public are maybe grudgingly keeping quiet. Not that they are happy. The landowners who are using them are happy. And you know what else? It is the same group and groups around Accra who are involved also in the robberies. They do landguard work in the day, and in the night, they are armed robbers. So there is an inextricable link between robberies and landguardism. And it is inextricable. And there is also an inextricable link between these same activities, the chieftaincy issues across the country. It is the same guys who are ferried to go and fight in chieftaincy issues in this country. The same guys.
Well, so I'll come back for your thoughts shortly. You heard from Member of Parliament for Wa Central, Dr. Rashid Pelpo, and MP for Abuakwa South, Samuel Atachia, and also you heard from Senior Law Lecturer at the University of Ghana, Kwame Jan, expressing their views on issues to do with the Botiano killings and landguardism as well. But in line with Government of Ghana's digitalization agenda, First Atlantic Bank's collection platforms provide corporate institutions, SMEs, and individuals easy and convenient payment services for the following: GRA payment, custom duty, domestic taxes, direct taxes, indirect taxes, stamp duty, vehicle income tax, personal income tax, using Ghana.gov generated invoice. Government agencies such as the Lands Commission, Registrar General's Department, Passport Office, Ghana Tourism Authority, local government, EPA, Forestry Commission, Minerals Commission, payment using Ghana.gov generated invoice, as well as ECG payments, postpaid and prepaid, and Senate Tier 1 pension contributions. No more waiting waiting in queues or dealing with complicated forms at government offices, our collection platforms make payments easy. Payment for these services can be made at any First Atlantic Bank branch and also using our digital channels. Say goodbye to the stress and hassle of payment and switch to First Atlantic Bank payments platform today. First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. Joseph and Elton, I don't know if you have some views on that issue in Botiano.
Well, I don't know if anybody, any unit is investigating this matter. The police, the police become a mute organization, so it's difficult to even hear exactly what they are doing. But beyond the call for an independent probe into this matter, on the side of the police, I think the first statement that came out in which they justified their action, saying that the people were land gas and the people opened fire on them, and then they returned fire, and that led to the death of the 5 people. There's been calls by members of parliament, some independent thinkers who are of the view that there should be an independent body to look into this matter. But I think the bigger conversation is about how the police go about some of these things. We've heard, 2 years ago, the police Wasa, the interior minister, announced the deployment of some cameras to be put on police officers who go on operation. We are yet to see that manifest. And even if that is working, the way that the service operates now is difficult to even, understand what really is going on within it. So it's difficult. But I would believe that if the people were indeed land gas in the day and armed robbers in the night, the circumstances that led to their death should be known, even if they were criminals.
Exactly.
I don't think that he would just...
Exactly.
So this is my point.
Yeah, and I also think that the police statement came in too early. This is an incident that happened, and less than 24 hours later, a statement comes out saying that the people are land guards, they engage in firefights. You get a sense that the administration, because that's the official mouthpiece of the police service. Your men have gone to engage in in sort of a confrontation with some individuals. What they report to you, you quickly put in a statement and put it out. The police is supposed to provide service for the people. Yeah. And so the initial step should be that there have been an incident which resulted in so and so deaths. The matter is being investigated. I think that should be the posture generally. And like Elton made a point fantastically, whether they are land guards or not, you are allowed to use lethal force in extreme situations when necessary. So until that is even determined, it's very difficult to tell. So the immediate idea of throwing it out that they are land guards just to make all of this look a certain way does not really help. And that's how come the calls for investigation continues.
Okay, let's get into the papers then.
So daily graphic bailout results begin to show. That's according to Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. And according to the approval of the International Monetary Fund program, has started yielding positive outcomes. The Minister of Finance has stated and called on all Ghanaians to put their shoulders to the wheel to implement far-reaching reforms. He cited a positive outcome to include decrease in the rate of inflation, treasury bills, improvement in foreign reserves and current account position, but stressed that the real work of adjustments, the realignment, and the return to the path of steady economic growth has just begun. My point is that, last month or this month, we've been talking about the debts that government owe the IPPs in the energy sector. As at last month, or as at this month, we're told the amount, around $1.4 billion. Now, the latest figures, according to the finance minister, is over $2 billion United States dollars. Now, today is the 19th of July, meaning 21 days away from the people switching off their plans. That is, if government is unable to come to some agreement with them in terms of meeting their financial demands. We wait to see. But clearly, there are still a lot of work to be done. There are still some bitter pills that we will have to swallow along the line before we get this economy working.
The president made the point the last time he addressed the nation that the impact would not be immediate. And I think the finance minister should learn from that. We're always in a hurry to say we're doing well. Yes, it's good because sometimes in an economy, a lot of these things will bring about confidence and all of that. But the reality is that you're talking about inflation. What was the rate of inflation in May? Rate of inflation is 42%. It's moved from 41 to 42. You don't know the rate of inflation for June. So why are you actually saying because of the IMF program, inflation and all of these things are coming down? Let's take our time. Let us take our time. Yes, this is to bring about some confidence. We need balance of payment support once we get onto an IMF program. And listen, the reality is that as a people, we have failed to manage our economy without the IMF.
Yeah.
The time the NPP, the president was all over the place touting the credentials of his government, growing on the average 7%, we were under an IMF program. We were under an IMF program. The only time we left, 2019, we came back complaining in 2020 that COVID-19 has hit us and the whole world is recovering from COVID-19. But it also showed us that our economy was not resilient after all. And then by 2021, 2022, we were running in an ambulance to the IMF. It is obvious from all of these that we have just not been good at managing our own economy.
Exactly. So more to come. I think that in the days to follow, we'll digest some of the things that he said yesterday at the news conference. Also, spending time lecturing the media on how to do their work. Yeah. So the political page, rally behind NDC to win as enough. That's according to John Mahama. The candidate is starting the court hearing tomorrow. According to the High Court, it will run on a day-to-day basis. The candidate says that he will require a bed to sleep in the courtroom so that he can fully participate in the hearing. I
mean, it's interesting he said that because in court last week when the judge decided, even before she made that announcement, the request from the lawyers did not suggest that they wanted a bed to sleep in the courtroom. The lawyers were actually literally begging the court that they should be given some more time because of the campaigning that he wants to do. And the AG was not too excited about that, making the point that he thinks that James Gyakye Quayson is being selfish for someone who is being prosecuted, and from what has come out from the Supreme Court judgment, he doesn't think that it's even fair that he puts himself up to be elected. And so it's very interesting that the posturing this time around is like, okay, it's not really a problem with how the court has fixed the hearing. At least we know that the court has taken 3 dates. That is the 20th, 21st, and 23rd. Right. We don't know whether beyond the 23rd there will be another one, because that will be too close to the 27th when the election will be taking place.
So the hearing is starting tomorrow. And other news making rounds in the Daily Graphic, I have my own vision for Ghana. That's according to Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, and Dr. Afriyie Akoto is also submitting his nomination forms today at the NPP headquarters.
The dark horse in the race.
Dark horse in the race, yeah.
And then back page, you have Dreams FC wins historic MTN FA Cup, and Madagascar delays Ghana's AFCON party.
Ghana. We'll talk about this later. Because I don't understand. Why? I mean, someone just sent me a message that when was the last time Black Stars won a game with Didi as captain? I'm going to be finding out from very soon.
It's the last really, time. It was watching the Blast was so difficult yesterday. Like, goodness.
I don't know. Let's continue. We'll come back. We'll talk about the Black Stars.
Well, the Daily Guide front page: Bawumia hits ground running, and no prison term for we smokers. Story on page 6. And Okoye vets NPP presidential aspirants. It's also on the front page. The back page has that Black Star story about Stars near AFCON qualification. And Thomas Partey, Arsenal future uncertain. Juve Milan express interest. That is quite interesting. I mean, not too long ago, they were talking about how, if I just 5 weeks ago, everyone was talking about how there was this Thomas Partey and Rodri debate about who is and Casemiro about who is the best DM in the Premier League and the world.
I think that for Partey, I've said this before. When Saliba got injured, they exposed him because he had to cover a lot of grounds, and it was difficult for him to do that.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, and so Arsenal, you're better off when Saliba is playing. When Saliba plays high up there, takes the ball. So
and especially because they play a single pivot.
Yes.
The Chaka is allowed to move up.
Yes, to move up. So, it actually allows. And look, the reason Man United would prefer to play Lisandro Martinez and Casemiro is that Martinez will come forward.
Yeah.
Because Casemiro is also old.
And I think we see the same thing with City as well.
Yeah.
Stones beside Rodri.
Yes.
Stones virtually play as a DM now.
Yeah.
So it gives him a bit of cover.
Exactly.
Then you have the centre backs that move forward as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Akanji and the rest. So I think it also helps them. So I mean, I'm surprised he's tipped.
Yeah, I've seen that. I mean, they want to get him off and keep who? Jorginho? Oh my goodness.
But they intend to sign a defensive midfielder as well. They are trying to get Caicedo, which I understand Chelsea have the upper hand still.
Yes, Chelsea does. Maybe they want to sign Rice. But are you done?
Just one more story here. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse banned in UAE. We are told that there is a scene in the movie that features a poster background that depicts the transgender flag and reads, quote, "Protect trans lives." And so the movie has been banned in UAE for not meeting the censorship requirements. And so no good news there.
Well, the finder for today says Asase Foundation donates dialysis machines, urges NHIS to cover kidney treatment. Government Paris Club set to sign MOU on debt treatment terms. That's according to Furiata. And Baumia hints of his own vision is also here. I mean, I was following on Friday. There's something he said. He said that he has performed very well. As a vice president, he's done well. He's played his role. And, in some times there's a lot of conversations as to what he had been doing and whether he could be held responsible or accountable for some of the woes that the economy had faced, for instance, because he's chairman of the economic management team. Now that Bamia is telling all of us that he has done very well in the running of this nation, I don't know if tomorrow somebody holds him accountable, his people can come back and say he didn't do anything, that he was not allowed to perform.
Well, the thing about the vice president is that, whatever he's done is evident to everybody. The state of affairs in this country is what should be the basis or the yardstick to measure how far he's come and what he's done. You don't need any other thing to measure him.
Okay, let's get to our online news review brought to us by Zenith Bank, in your best interest, and Goyle Good Energy. So looking for a bank that understands you and puts your financial needs first? Then look towards Zenith Bank, whether you're young, old, an entrepreneur, student, salaried worker, a corporate entity, an SME, a pensioner, a parent, a child, a Ghanaian resident abroad, or foreigner resident in Ghana. At Zenith Bank, everyone can bank with us. So what are you waiting for? Join the Zenith Bank family for an unrivaled banking experience. For enquiries, call us on 0302 680884 or 0307086370 or 054 2000 111. Send an email to info@zenithbank.com.gh. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. And what do you do when you run out of fuel in your vehicle? Do you just stop up anywhere? Well, don't do that. Let me introduce you to the Good Energy family and why you must be part. Goyle Super SP, Ron 95 and Diesel SP are the best fuels with high performance in town for your vehicle. Goyle Super SP Ron 95 is a high-grade fuel sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goyle Diesel XP is low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle with about 444 stations across the nation. Join the family that rewards you with quality for an energized driving experience. Goyle Good Energy, Goyle, yeah, idiom. I get onto myjoyonline.com and find out what's making news there. It says, NDC Greater Accra Constituency Chairman, men elect new leaders. Let's go for the BBC.